black and white birds. They're called saddle-billed storks. And they get their name from the bright yellow saddle shape on their bills. They stand about 5 feet tall and use their long legs to wade through the water to get fish, lizards, and other creepy crawlies that they enjoy eating. Also on the hill to the left are some tan-colored antelopes called greater kudu. They stand about 55 inches tall at the shoulder, making them one of the taller antelope species. To the left, a couple more animals, or excuse me, to the right, a couple more animals. One closer to us with the horns is a bongo, also known as the ghost of the forest because they are super shy, so we're lucky to see them today. In the distance to the right is an okapi. Many people believe that okapis are related to zebras because they have those stripes on their legs, but they are not. They're the only living relative of the giraffe, which we can tell based on the shape of their skull, as well as their prehensile tongue that they use to gather leaves. Over to the left, we've also found a couple of black rhinoceros. Black rhinos weigh in at about 3,000 pounds, and they are solitary animals because they are very territorial. There are only about 5,000 of them left in the world, though. They are hunted for their horns, which are made out of keratin. Same thing you would find in your hair and your nails. So not really of any use to anyone except for the rhino. But many tribes in Africa believe that those rhino horns contain medicinal properties, which is not the case. So we are doing our best to educate as many people as possible. I think everybody was hanging out at the very entrance of the forest. So we're going to make our way toward the Safi River, where we definitely want to keep our eyes on the water. Animals we might find there including hippopotamus and Nile crocodiles. Spend a majority of their day in, under, and around the water. Hippos can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time. Even when they are sleeping, their bodies will rise to the surface to get more air. But they don't really swim. They'll walk or glide along the bottom of whatever body of water they're in. Now hippos can grow to be 5,500 pounds, so it's just a little bit less. But they only eat about 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation per day. A couple just under the water there to the right, but I'm going to see if we can get a better view of them up ahead. Hippopotamus is Greek for water horse because of their grace as they walk under the water. These large white birds on the islands here to the left are pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pink color that their backs turn during mating season. It is the skin on their backs that turns pink though, and not their feathers. They are some of the smaller pelican species, but their wingspan is still about 7 to 9 feet wide. Canopy above our heads is about 9 feet wide to give you an idea of what that looks like.
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of them. Yeah. Sometimes they like hang out like
find up here.
Up around the corner.
Over to the left, you can see some Nile crocodiles in the water there. They can grow to be 16 to 20 feet long, weighing in at about 500 pounds.
Got like paint on them.
Once a week, they will eat about half their body weight, but they are also able to go months at a time without eating anything at all. That is especially helpful when food is scarce. Nile crocodiles are ectothermic, meaning that they regulate their body temperature using the environment around them. If you ever see crocs with their mouths open, they are not smiling at you. They are just releasing excess body heat. They don't have sweat glands like humans to help them cool off. Coming up here on our right-hand side is a baobab tree. Baobab trees are also called upside-down trees because it looks like their roots are up in the air. They do go leafless for about 9 months out of the year, helps them to conserve water during the drier months out on the savanna. Baobab trees are also called the tree of life. They can hold a significant amount of water in their trunks. And if animals are desperate for water, they know that they can poke holes in their trunks to get access to it. We are making our way down into the savanna now, where we should be able to find some recognizable animals from abundant spotting guide above your head. definitely see some
That's
Maasai
a
giraffes
giraffe.
here to our right. We can tell that they are Maasai giraffes based on the shape of their spots. They are very jagged, irregular, sort of like a puzzle that doesn't quite fit together. Giraffes, of course, are the tallest land animals. They can stand between 16 and 20 feet tall. But they have the same number of vertebrae in their necks as humans. Which is 7. There is a baby giraffe out on the reserve. You can actually see him in the distance there. He's the shortest one over there that kind of has the lighter colored spots. We'll be able to get a better view of them as we go around. But when a baby giraffe is born, they are about 6 feet tall. Mom does give birth standing up, so they also drop from about 6 feet. That drop does shock them into taking their first breath of life. At just 5 months old, though, the baby giraffe is well over 7 feet tall, but he does have lots more growing left to do. I'm going to see if we can get a better view of the giraffes as we continue around here. Coming up on our left-hand side, though, we're on the lookout for some predators called African wild dogs or painted dogs. They get their name from the unique patterns on their coats. No two are the same, sort of like a person's fingerprint. Looks like they're turning around a little bit there. I think we'll get a better view of a couple of them around this boulder here. So they get their name from the unique patterns on their coats. No two are the same, just like a person's fingerprint. They are some of the most successful hunters on the savannah. They work together as a pack and have about an 80 to 90% success rate, which is a very high success rate. Lions only have about a 20 to 30% success rate. Make sure everybody's remaining seated for me, please, at all times. Over to the left, a couple more animals. These animals with the very large horns are Ankole cattle, or Watusi cattle, named for the tribe that first domesticated them. They're not kept for their meat, though. The more cattle you have, the more wealthy you are, so you definitely want lots of cattle. Those horns can grow to be 16 to 20, or excuse me, they can grow to be 3 to 4 feet long, but they only weigh about 20 pounds because they have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside that works like their own personal air conditioning unit. Their blood travels up and through that honeycomb, cools off, and returns to their body to help cool the rest of them off. There's also a couple of sable antelopes over to the left-hand side, and they get their name from the dark color of their coats. As they grow older, they do get darker. Those backward-facing horns help them to fend off any predators that might try to jump on their backs. Looks like we're going to get a good view of the giraffes up here to our left. The baby giraffe is the one that just kind of had a little running tantrum there. Giraffes do spend a majority of their day eating, only sleeping for about 30 minutes each day. They won't do that all at once. They'll usually break it up into small power naps throughout their day. They also have very large hearts, about the size of a basketball, one of the highest blood pressures in the animal kingdom, to help them pump their blood up their long necks into their brains. Their tongues are about 18 inches long. They're kind of a blackish blue purple color. We believe that is to help prevent them from getting sunburned because they do spend so much time eating. And they are so tall, they're closer to the sun. Looks like coming out of the brush there to the right are a couple of Hartman's mountain zebras. Zebras are non-territorial, so they get along pretty well with most other animals around the savannah. When a baby zebra is born, within an hour, they will memorize their mother's stripe pattern so that they know who to go to when they need food. A group of zebras is called a dazzle. If you're ever curious if the zebra is black with white stripes or white with black stripes, take a look at their noses. It's the color of their skin. So the Hartman's mountain zebras with their black noses are black with white stripes. In that small clearing there are a couple more animals. You can see a white-bearded wildebeest laying down in the brush and a springbok. Springboks get their name because they can spring straight up in the air about 6 feet and spring forward about 13 feet. There are also some of the faster land animals running at speeds between 50 and 60 miles per hour. Wildebeests are migratory animals, so they will travel long distances, approximately 500 to 1,000 miles, in very large groups, usually totaling over 1.5 million wildebeests. When they go to sleep at night, it's usually in organized rows, so that they can get up and move quickly if they sense any kind of threat or danger in the area. Wildebeests are also called gnu, G-N-U, for the sound that they make. Lots of fallen trees here, usually a good sign that elephants are in the area. Elephants enjoy snacking on the leaves on the trees. When they can't reach those tippy-top leaves, they will just knock the tree over so that they can finish their snack. It looks like we did find an African elephant in the clearing, just to the right here. You can tell that's an African elephant based on the shape of his ears. They're shaped like the continent of Africa. When they get too hot, they can flap their ears. It does help to cool their body temperature down by about 15 degrees. Over to our left-hand side are mandrills. They are the largest monkeys, and they're most well known for their colorful faces and behinds. They are the inspiration behind Rafiki from The Lion King. Rafiki means friend in Swahili. My favorite thing about the mandrills is that they have extra pouches in their cheeks, so that they can bring their snacks with them everywhere. You might be able to get another view of the elephant just around this bend here. Elephants also have very sensitive skin, so they will throw dirt and mud on their backs. Works like a natural sunscreen and bugger pellet. We're going to see if we can find any more of these elephants up ahead. They are losing their habitats to many different things. And losing those habitats, they're getting closer to farmlands and trampling through farmers' crops. So the farmers are hunting those elephants to protect their crops, which is their livelihood. Through reserves like this one, we have been able to study elephant vocalizations. We have learned that elephants are afraid of bees. So the Elephants and Bees Project was born. Farmers were assisted in placing beehives around their crops, and since those hives have been placed, the elephants no longer trample through the crops. So the farmers and the elephants are able to coexist more peacefully. Farmers keep their crops, and they also have an additional income from the honey that the bees provide. We are passing through the red clay pins now. You can see lots of test marks there to the right. Elephants eat the red clay. Provides them with extra vitamins and minerals that they may not get in their everyday diets. Sort of like you and I can take a multivitamin each day. Elephants live in a matriarchy, so all of the females will stick together for their entire lives. Males will break off from the herd when they are about 12 or 13. They go off on their own, or they will form bachelor herds with other males. In the matriarchy, the oldest and the wisest female is in charge. So usually that means that grandpa's in charge. Baby elephants are born after 22 months of pregnancy, almost 2 full years. Because all of the females stick together, they'll raise their babies together. So during the day, baby elephants will mingle and learn from their aunties and their cousins. But at night, Mama will call the baby back to her so that she knows that baby is nice and safe, just like a curfew. Elephants don't reach their full maturity till they are about 20 years old. They have the second longest childhood of any mammal, just behind humans. Coming up here on our left-hand side are greater flamingos. They are the tallest and the lightest color pink of the flamingo family. When they hatch, their feathers are gray, but as they grow older and eat brine shrimp that contains beta-carotene, their feathers do get pinker. It does take a couple years though for them to completely pink up. So if you notice, some still have a little bit of gray on them. They are under 2. There are some out there that are almost completely gray. They are babies. They're hatchlings from the beginning of the summer. The group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. We are making our way into white rhino country. Just like the elephants, white rhinos do have sensitive skin. So they will roll around in those mud wallows there to our left to put on their sunscreen and bug repellent. But it also helps them to cool off. The white rhinos that we are looking for are not actually white in color. That's because their name comes from the mistranslation of the word vite, V-I-T-E, in Afrikaans, which means wide, not white. They have a nice wide upper lip that helps them to eat their food off of the ground. They are quite large, weighing up to 5,000 pounds. So keep an eye out for those white rhinos up there. Up on the hill to our left, there are some cheetahs, a couple in the very back of the hill and one sitting right up here on the rock. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals. They can run at speeds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. So it looks like one's demonstrating a little bit of quick speed there. They don't maintain that speed for very long though. It is pretty exhausting on their bodies, so they just go a couple hundred yards. They are well equipped for that quick high-speed chase though. Their tails are nice and long to help them steer, sort of like a boat rudder. Their claws do not retract to help them dig into the earth like soccer cleats, and they have black tear streak marks on their faces to reflect the sun like sunglasses. Cheetahs are the only big cats that don't roar, they purr and chirp instead. Straight ahead here is a kopie, which is a rock formation. A lot of animals like to use the kopie. It provides them with a pretty good vantage point. So predators can look for prey, prey can look for predators. You can kind of see that female lion. Oh, there's a male walking around there too. You can tell the difference because the males have those nice thick heavy manes and females do not. Lions are resting for about 18 to 20 hours each day. Females will go out and do the hunting at night, while the males stay back with the rest of the group called a pride. They hunt at night because during the day, lion's vision is about the same as a human's, while at night their vision is about 6 times better than ours. To our right hand side is an ostrich. Shh, listen, listen, listen. So that's the male roaring over there.
Listen to it.
A lion's full roar can be heard from about 5 miles away. And the Swahili word for lion is Simba, just like our pal from the Lion King. Well, the female's starting now too.
They're both talking.
So that ostrich that we saw, they are the largest birds, too big and heavy to fly. So instead, they run at speeds between 30 and 35 miles per hour and use their wings to help them steer. Over to the left are some warthogs. They are the largest burrowing mammals, so they'll dig their burrows or take them from other animals back into those burrows so their sharp tusks can protect them from their predators. You notice the one closest to us is kneeling down to eat. That's because they don't have the right neck muscles to help them go up and down as they eat, so they just kneel down to make it a little easier. They don't like to be called Pumbaa though. Pumbaa does mean foolish one in Swahili. It looks like we did find the white rhinos here. If you notice, the one in the middle is definitely not 5,000 pounds yet. That's because he's still a baby. He just celebrated his first birthday at the end of October. White rhinos are social animals. A group of them like this is called a crash. That's because they have very poor eyesight. They can only see about 10 feet in front of them. They can charge at about 35 miles per hour. Use their wings to help them steer. To make up for that poor eyesight though, they do have really good hearing. Their ears move independently from one another so that they can hear what's going on from all directions. We've got the couple more ostriches there, nice and close to the road. We're going to make our way into Magadi Glen now, where the warden has set up his post. It helps keep the animals on the reserve protected and safe. He's also domesticated some Nigerian dwarf goats who are great partners to have. both out here on the reserve and for any villagers that may want to keep them. They eat a lot of the undergrowth. Most animals do not enjoy oat, so they have to keep lawns nice and clean. They also produce a sweet, nutritious milk that is delicious, can be made into cheese, and the villagers will sell that milk and cheese down at their market. All these goats here at the Warden's Post are fully grown adults. They're not going to get any bigger than this. So they don't take up too much extra space or food for any of those villagers who'd like to keep a few of them. Does look like our time together is coming to an end. We enjoyed seeing these animals out here today on the reserve. We do want to make sure that they are around for a long time to come. Doing our part to reduce, reuse, recycle is a great way to start. You can also pick your favorite animal, learn more about that animal, and share that information with anyone and everyone who will listen. The more we know about these animals, the more we can help them in their natural habitats. If there are any wilderness explorers on the truck today, you are on the Symbol one. SIMBA and the number 1. Anyone interested in seeing the other animals, the Gorilla Falls Exploration Shuttle's open till 4:45 tonight. You can see gorillas, naked mole rats, and cats. It is a self-guided walking tour, so if you need strollers, wheelchairs,
On, go! Good luck, everybody. And the winner of this round is going to be number 9. 5 seconds to go. Is everybody ready? In 3, 2, 1, ready, aim, go! And the winner of the round is going to be number 3. Number 3 set off the blue light.
Nice
Congratulations. We got our classes, currency, hospital, operating room. She will be preoccupied. Give you peace of mind for 5 minutes.
Good.
It's here. Yeah, it's here the gorilla and safari. And if you're lucky, you get little gorilla. Yeah, big gorilla. Oh, yeah.
The otters are right by the street.
I feel like we haven't been to the Avatar thing today.
We haven't yet. Who is that?
It's my friend.
Where'd you get him?
That dinosaur thing. I want.
How am I going to push you right now?
Is he going with you on the ride?
Yeah. He's gonna scream for that. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah.